Hi there. My name is Gary Hardesty, and I am the chair of the Stewardship Committee of the First Congregational Church of Evanston. Over the course of the preceding 5 Sundays, and again this Sunday, October 18th, we have heard from 4 different members of the First Congregational Church of Evanston: Fawn Ring, Sharon Fiedler, Joan Lindsay, and Lindsay Siemens. In each of their Stewardship Moment presentations, we have learned their personal stories of how their paths joined with First Congregational Church of Evanston. We have learned some aspects of the church family and of the church service experience that are so meaningful to each of them. And we have heard each of them speak to how they are contributing to growing First Congregational Church of Evanston and seeing it flourish. Many of us listening to these moments of stewardship can relate to the deeply personal and private meaning that First Congregational Church of Evanston has for each of them. Many of us have received the gift of pastoral care that comes with closely guarded privacy and sensitivity. All of us, I dare to guess, have on occasion had our spirits lifted and our tear ducts activated by a hymn, an anthem, a postlude, a prelude, or an offertory. Many of us have enjoyed a hearty discussion over a cookie and a cup of coffee, or a plate of spaghetti, or a plate of snacks. Whether after an enriching Sunday morning service, or during a board or committee meeting, or while joining in any of the ongoing community service efforts, such as at Hilda's Place, there is usually a food item involved. There is extensive donation of time and talents to our larger civic community by friends and members of First Congregational Church of Evanston. We walk to feed the hungry. We feed the homeless. We shelter the homeless. We campaign for better justice and equality. We give of ourselves in these ways on weekends and evenings around work and school schedules and during our days of leisure and retirement, and we are richer for doing so. Some of us have made this kind of giving of ourselves our life's work. Reverend Dr. Tim Stevens, our interim senior minister, spends his workdays and evenings and weekends caring for each of us who reach out to him and for our committees and our boards. Miko Fentanes, our church administrator, spends their workdays and evenings and weekends producing our lovely, fluid, and masterful virtual services, in addition to keeping the church office and our facilities running. David Lawrenson, our director of music, spends his workdays planning weeks of music in advance while perfecting music for the next Sunday, all while collaborating with the pastor. Sarah Peterson, our director of learning and outreach, inspires our youngest members to be independent thinkers and active learners and motivates the rest of us to become just as engaged. Fall is my favorite season, not just for the opportunity to pull out the comfortable clothing and to rake the leaves, but also to celebrate the staff of First Congregational Church of Evanston. These wonderful folks are each rock stars on their own, and even more so as a team. How we celebrate this team of sensitive, inspirational, go-getting, diligent messengers of good faith and good community is not just by kind flowery words, or thunderous applause, or smiles and tears. How we celebrate this group of spiritual guides is not just by showing up to meetings or by faithfully attending services. How we celebrate our gifted and dedicated staff is by supporting First Congregational Church of Evanston with more than our time and our talents, but also with our treasure. To those of you who are the roughly 25% of our members who have already pledged to give a portion of your treasure in 2021, thank you. If you are moved to add to your pledge, just let Miko know. If you have had any number of hardships last year that made pledging for this year too worrisome, believe me, I understand. If your store of treasure after the past year, however, has turned out better than anticipated, there is nothing wrong with donating this year without having first pledged. If you are still attempting to predict how much treasure you need to reserve over the course of the next 12 months, my suggestion is to consider it like you would consider packing for a vacation. Although you absolutely need to pack some extra essentials for the trip, just in case, what good would it do to carry an extra bag of treasure all around on holiday just to set it back down at home untouched? The Stewardship Committee looks forward to your joining us in continuing to celebrate our fabulous staff, our wonderful facilities, and our service to our faith and our community. You can provide a pledge commitment in an email to Miko or by filling out the printed pledge card and mailing it to the church office. Whether you can pledge $1 a day, or $10 a day, or $100 a day for all the 365 days of 2021, the First Congregational Church of Evanston family appreciates your time, your talents, and your treasure.